John Carpenter. John Carpenter.
This is John Carpenter?
He released like recently this.
Yeah, no, yeah,
the film director, because he made his
soundtrack
music for his movies, and this is like some old things but remade or sounds really good. Окей, да не се заслушаме премногу во оваа тема што оди под нас, Night на Джон Карпентер. Не воведе во атмосфера што од која излевавме малку, бидејќи навистина е тешко да создаде некаква атмосфера, освен да се смени муавет после настапот на Klaus Legal или Klaus Legal, како сакате. So, welcome, Pavel.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to our radio and playing a gig for us. And let's start from just introduce yourself and your music and like, because I suppose some of the audience already knows you because they were at your gig, but many of them I guess don't. So when did you start and how come?
Okay. So I'm French. I used to live in different parts of France, north, west, east. Now I'm living in east, but since like 1 month. And since I think almost 10 years, I've been playing in different kind of band, mostly noise rock or punk bands. And slowly I got interested into like old school industrial music or no wave stuff like Deutsche Amerikanische Freundschaft or Throbbing Gristle or Suicide. And I wanted to start something on my own. So like I started to do stuff on folk rock all by myself in my bedroom like 3 years ago. And then since at the end I started to make some shows, and then I still go on and do records and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe it's enough.
Yeah, okay. So when this interest of yours about this industrial scene, DAF, and where did they come?
Mostly it was friends who gave me records like at the beginning of 2000 when I was in university. I was really into rock music, but I get more and more interested into weird rock music like Biffert or stuff from USA like Skin Graft released. And I was like, hey, you know, this stuff are really crazy and this is the new stuff, blah, blah. And a lot of friends of mine told me, hey, you have to listen to this old school stuff. So like I really remember like Throbbing Gristle was really some guys from the town I lived who was like, I think he's 20 or 25 years older than me. They told me, you have to listen to Throbbing Gristle because they're really more fucked up than any other. And I really was like, wow, okay. And DAF, it was another band from town close to me, who's called A.H. Kraken, that doesn't exist anymore. And they were really into this music. They were playing like noise rock, but they made a cover of DAF. And so I really get interested in this. And Suicide is because I was interested in no wave, because of Sonic Youth and no wave compilation. And so Suicide was part of all these bands and everything, and I was like, yeah, super. I really like the fact that there is not so much instruments, like mainly it's just rhythm and something like a melodic line, and just one guy singing. And when I started my own, I really wanted to have this thing like, just like really basic, like one line, some sounds, and a voice.
It was difficult not to notice it on your mixer. There is a written sign there, 1 chord is enough.
Just
2 or maybe 3.
Yeah, no, 1 is enough.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it was just like a blog I was checking, was really about minimalistic music, and the name of the blog is 1 chord is enough. And the guy just said, if you want stickers or anything, just send an email. So I sent an email. I really like the sentence. Because like 1 chord is enough. You can do a song with 1 chord.
Tell me something. You mentioned that you were part of groups. playing together with people.
Yeah.
How this switch happened? I guess this band maybe didn't go on, or like
mostly it's like it's always. I always have several bands at the same time, so I still play in noise rock bands. And so the switch was really slow, but it's not like I switched from noise rock to industrial music. It's like I started to be really interested in industrial music, but I still do noise rock music where I play guitar or I play synth, but with really drums. Mostly the band I play synth is with a drum machine. But it's like just it gets wider. It's not, I changed from noise rock to industrial. It's like I added something more, like I say, okay, by myself I want to do this. Because the thing is like, I didn't see myself like playing guitar in front of people. And I really don't want to make any sample. I wanted to do everything live, to get it more interesting when you see it live.
Yeah, because the people that were listening to the show could not see that, but we'll show them some photos maybe yesterday or day after. You performed with music as well as with the lights.
Yeah, the thing is just I have a little, mostly my setup is a drum machine and a lot of little synth, but without keyboard, just like sound generator. And I have one which is interacting with light. And so I really need darkness, because if there is darkness that make a like really low sound, and there is, if I do like lot of light, it do like really trebly sound. So I play with this, and at the beginning, yeah, I just have like small light, and I was making shadow with my feet around the machine, and I started to do just like stroboscope and a little bit more lights. And I don't know, because I disguise myself. At first was just because I was super shy to play in front of people all by myself. I was like, okay. And one friend told me like, you have to do like a character, so you just think it's somebody else. And with the lights, it's really working on, and it helps me really, I don't know, to get confident on stage, because I think if I play like dressed as usual, I will feel like really awkward, or I feel like it's super strange.
I think I must agree that you do the right thing, because I can really notice the difference. You like dressed and performing with you like regular person talking. You seem a little bit shy, which is good, because then when you enter this performance of yours, it's a complete opposite transformation, and it does make sense, I think. I've noticed listening to your music, which is available to listen and download it on your Bandcamp, so let's name it Klaus Legal Bandcamp.com. Early stuff there, some hip hop elements also, and some different experimentation. So it seemed to me that they're like open, really.
Yeah, because
to do different things.
Yeah, at one point I was just, this band is me and just me, so it's like I can do
complete freedom.
I can do whatever I want as long as it's me. I even do some stuff, but I didn't record anything with it. But at one point I really did a lot of shows with the light stuff, and I was afraid of getting bored of it. So I was like, okay, I have to do something else by my own. And I play with like a thumb piano from Africa called Mbira. And I do delay and everything, so I do a couple of shows at the end of 2013 just with this, which was totally different, and I wasn't without makeup, just like dressed usual and really quiet, no rhythm, just kind of drony and melody echoing all over.
Couple of years ago, I think it's couple of years, correct me if I'm wrong, you made a collaboration with a band that we know and like here, not many of us, but I can say like 20, 30, all of those who attended their concert. I'm talking about the Kiri French band from Metz, and I found out that you released something together with them.
Yeah, so the main idea is like Thomas, which is the bass player of Daiki, is a real friend of mine, because he's also playing since 15 years in another band called Le Singe Blanc, which is super good also. And just we see each other, and he noticed this thing, like I was more interested into electronic and industrial music, and he knew me from the noise rock bands before. He was like, well, when do you start to do guitar again, because I miss you playing guitar. And I say, okay, let's make a band together, so you will see me play guitar. And the idea was just to make like something like one shot, like try to play, so Bastian, Thomas and Daki with me together, like bass, drums, guitar and voice, so nothing to do with what I do alone. And we were wanted to make a record and then just one tour, but it lasted from, I think first rehearsal was in 2013, and last show ever, we promised ourselves to stop. It was last June, like at the end of June we played a festival in France called Tapet Fest, and it was like last gig because the music is more really repetitive. It's like crowd rock. Like mainly it's just one rhythm over and over and over with some switch, so it's super different from the IQ. We play like really short songs that change every 5 seconds. And we had just this song, and we said, okay, we just play this and everything. So we did like 50 shows all around Europe. At one point we said, okay, it's better to stop here before we get bored of it and everything. But it was a super nice experience, and I don't know, it was different.
Are you keen to...
And there was light show also.
Are you keen to sort of open improvised collaboration with other musicians? Do you do that from time to time?
It's more like
getting together with people and try things?
It happens. Like we did this, but it was like we say Klaus Legal and Ďorѓi, but the band is like nothing related to any of the band. But I did another record with a Sicilian band called Les Spritz, and in an instance, it was they're like a noise rock duo. They're like kind of similar to Arabon Radar or Don Vito, kind of. And we made tour together. We became like super friends and everything. And they have a studio in Sicily, in Messina. And they offered me to go there to record. And I say, okay, let's record together, make something together. And for instance, I replay the thing I play as Klaus Legal, like electronic stuff, and they play like guitar and drums. It's like really a mix of us together. Otherwise, sometimes I have a free improv project, but always with the same guy in Nancy, which is called Clot, but we don't play so often. And I'm really open for collaboration, but mostly it's about human relationship. It's like if I met someone and we like each other, we like the same stuff, and we're thinking, hey, maybe we can. And even sometimes there are a lot of people I know, I really want to do stuff with them and everything, but sometimes it's really hard to catch each other. But most of my bands all started like that.
Let's talk about your hometown. Where are you from?
Okay, so this is a complicated question.
We're talking exclusively about music, and sometimes it gets like monotone.
No. Where are you coming from? The thing is, like, I was born in northeast of France, and I stayed there for like from 0 to 25, 26. And then I was super bored of the town I was living in, so I moved to Paris for 2 years, but I was super pissed off about Paris. So I moved to another town which is called Amiens, which is in the north, because I met a lot of super cool people, and I met 2 bands there with people from this town. And I stayed there for 4 years, and I don't know, at one point I was around 30. I was like, okay, I really like this town, but maybe I want to move because some stuff were getting me bored. So I moved in the south, in Saint-Etienne, which is now more middle of France. But I was touring just like really a lot, so I stayed 6 months there, but in fact I just lived 2 weeks in my apartment. So I was like, okay, there is no use to pay rent for this. So I just take all my stuff and bring them to my mom, like a big baby of 31 years old. And say, okay, I don't want to pay rent because I'm always on tour, I don't need to have a house and everything. And the thing is, like, I met my girlfriend, and I fell really in love, and she had like a farm in the countryside in French Brittany, so west part of France. So I stayed there a lot, like in west part. and she was making gigs in her farm and everything. It was super cool, but she had problem with the neighbors, and the neighbor was like a fascist.
That sounds like a French sort of travelogue, you know, like
sometimes
French all over.
So we since 1 month we just get back to east of France because we had the opportunity to have an apartment for almost nothing, and we say okay, we stay there. And I think we are going to move maybe in 6 months or 1 year, because she wants to start another kind of place where she can make gigs and everything. And maybe she's more about countryside than city.
So you have a promoter for a girlfriend?
No. No,
concert organizer.
She's a concert organizer, but she doesn't organize gigs for me. It's
okay.
Like I book myself by my own. I like it that way. Like I like to manage most things I can by myself, because if something goes wrong, I can just blame myself. And if people help me, I'm really I don't know. I will thank them for that, because they're not supposed to do this and everything. So I want to say thanks to Sarah Cassin, which, whatever she may say, she really helped me, and she made this trip in Macedonia possible, because she's the one who invited me in Macedonia, who put up the gigs in Skopje, Kumanovo, Prilep, Ѓорѓи.
That's a lot of gigs for a foreign act in Macedonia.
Yeah.
So that's like optimum. You know, maybe you missed, I don't know, Štip, but no. Usually the Macedonian bands or like foreign bands are like playing 2 or 3 gigs here. So that's a good schedule, Sarah. You did it well.
And I do this radio show, bonus.
Oh yeah,
which is super. Oh really?
So you were touring Balkans before coming to Macedonia, or you came there?
I just came by airplane because Sarah invited me like 6 months or maybe 7, 8 months ago. I don't really remember. And because it was in the middle of summer, I had just before coming, I was playing in another festival in France. So it was like I had 1 week to go to Macedonia. Plus, I was like, I don't tour so much, because sometimes touring too much gets you in some kind of routine, and I don't really like being in a routine and feeling like being a musician is a job. I really don't like that. So I was like, okay, I just do Macedonia, and I go by airplane, and I do these 4 shows, and it will be enough. And will be more. I will have more time to enjoy the land, the country.
That's
because when you are on tour, you play all.
That's the way to do it, maybe, yeah.
You don't know. But I go to Balkan.
Since you mentioned it, you've passed here a little more time than bands usually passing here. So, what kind of feelings and impressions will you bring to that plane back to France?
So the main thing I remember about Macedonia is really easygoing. It's but in a really good way. It's like there's never a hurry for anything. Everything will be fine at the end and everything. So sometimes it may seem like really stressful for Western European, because it's always like everything is rescheduled. Like you play at this hour, you sound check at this hour, and then it's more like it's okay, blah blah blah. But at the end it works the same way. It's more like, I guess, Mediterranean, yeah. Because Italia is kind of the same way of behaving. So it was super, I don't know, relaxing.
Cool. One last thing, or maybe not, maybe I'll ask you 2 questions in one. Tell me, what are you listening? Are you listening to other people's music, and could you share something that impressed you recently or that you listened?
Okay, so...
Or you just make your own things and don't give?
I listen to a lot of different stuff. Mostly, actually now I'm really about ethnic music.
Yeah.
So I'm really about type of music from Myanmar, Burma, which is called Sengweng, which is like really rhythmic and may sound like super chaotic for European ears, but at the end it makes sense, and I listen to this a lot. I also listen to Thai pop music because I really like it, and some hip-hop, like a guy called Capital Steez, and I recently discovered a Netherlandian power electronics band called Cadaver Eyes from Tel Aviv, which is like just power electronics, like lots of feedback and a drummer and a guy screaming. I don't know, it's like really a lot of bands.
That's more that we can remember. So, Pavel, thanks for coming once more, and who knows, maybe next time you'll come to Macedonia, we'll see again here at the radio.
Yeah, I hope
with
so.
Your new material. Are you working on something actually?
I have another band which I started with my girlfriend.
That's the second question.
With my girlfriend, which in one which I play drums and she plays bass, but really in a strange way because I'm
not only a promoter but a musician too. Huh? Cool.
Okay, she will be pleased to hear that because she's not so confident also. But it's like really industrial, even if it's like bass and drums, because I don't really know how to play drums and she doesn't really know how to play bass. So it's bass and drums, but it sounds more like, I don't know, how do we say, sometimes like the joke is saying with like post-exotic sludge industrial, which means nothing.
Who knows?
And the thing with Daikiri was called Dalida, but it's over, and I still have two other bands. One was called Judas Donegger, which is like really cold wave with French lyrics, which are pretty important. We are going to make a new LP by the end of the year. And I have another one which is called La Race, which is like really no wave, super repetitive. And I don't know, it's like the Swans, but just 3 people.
So many bands you're involved in. So I suppose if we should transcribe this interview on paper, on internet, it will have lots of hyperlinks, links to other things, and maybe we'll do that.
If you want, I can send them to you.
Yeah, sure.
I will make a list.
That's the idea, because now I don't recall like 2 names maybe from all of this, but
French names.
We have a recording of this, and we'll find a volunteer that understands French English like this, Oh, thanks, Pavel. Thanks to Sara for making this possible.
Окей,
10:25. Ние се поздравуваме тука со вас. Следна свирка, не знаеме што ќе биде, меѓутоа се планираат повеќе на крајот на август и на почеток на септември. Сакаме да отвориме сезоната. Има најави дека некои членови на бендови се заминуваат и дека ќе бидат во паузирани известно време и сакаме да ги фатиме пред тоа да се случи. Ама да не надолжам, само да поканувам, доколку се уште сте дома или на Скопските улици, повелете, дружете на вечер, водиме во Лакања. Таму пушта музика нашиот пријател Тодор Караколев и од него ова есен очекуваме новости на музички план. Така да, тоа е тоа, уште еднаш голем поздрав од мене и од Дени. Да слушаме.